However, Song of the Siren disjointed the fight and came back in favor of Fnatic.
And welcome back. Game 3. It's our second game being played tonight, but Game 3 nonetheless on the way between HGT and Team DK. We can already see the draft is underway. Just to re-explain the situation to those who are perhaps joining us for the first time tonight and wondering what the hell's going on and what I meant with the last comment, the long and the short of it is DK replaced Team New B, who dropped out of D2L play after having initially confirmed, having Ace confirm them. They changed their mind last minute, and it was literally in the middle of a scheduled match when they were supposed to match up with HGT, and New B had already been given a one-game walkover win, or a one-game walkover loss. Sorry for that. HGT was up 1-0 because of the forfeiture rules. So Newbie finally confirms, yeah, they're not going to play. So we're like, okay, Ace, we need a new team. They suggest DK. We work it all out. But this situation remained. We didn't want to punish HGT for being on time when they were. And talking to HGT, working with them, DK and Ace, the solution everyone agreed was the most fair, including Team DK, was that they come into this series automatically down 1-0. And now we played our first game of the night. DK won that. And we look ahead now to what is ostensibly Game 3, second game of the night. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Whoever wins the series. Welcome in once again as I break down that side of things. How about we get Trout in to break down the thing you came to watch, which is Dota, the draft, and everything going on right now. HGT leads off with a Centaur and another Ember Spirit pick. Air had a great game in our last game on that hero. And I'm a little shocked they actually did let the Terrorblade through again, paired up with a Skywrath Mage this time.
Yeah, hopefully they have a very solid plan against it, because even if you have like an idea about how you want to play against it, maybe the best idea is just go aggressive against him, punish him in lane. But problem is CTY went mid this time, or I should say last time, and so aggressive. It's just set out the lanes and maybe just roam him more if he's mid. Just put pressure on him. But that's one of the best things about Terrorblade is that his late game is so scary, but he's actually not that bad in lane either, especially when his Metamorphosis is up. He's actually amazing in lane when his Metamorphosis is up. When it's down, not so good. So I would say if you can punish him when the Metamorphosis is down, or even better yet, if you can get him to pop it and then still gank him while it's up, then he won't have it for another 120 seconds. That would be a great way to start off the game.
Remaining.
Yeah, you know, speaking of the Terrorblade pick, he's the only hero in the pool currently that gives me the old feeling I used to get when I first started casting Dota leading up to TI2. And it's that feeling of there's actually a hero that 100% puts you on the clock. Like, there comes a point, no matter how many times you kill him, you can kill him 5 times in the laning phase, 5 times by 15 minutes. If he's left unchecked and allowed to farm for another 10 to 15 after that because his team's making space, or maybe you're being too complacent and not shutting him down enough, you're on a timer. That timer will go off, and we will see. I'm not going to ruin it for anyone who missed it. Just go watch the conclusion of last game. Absolutely thrilling. Once again, the rebroadcast for the night will begin following the conclusion of this series. So if you're just tuning in now, if you hang around a little bit after this game, you will get to see the first game as well coming up right here on twitch.tv/D2L. Make sure you hit follow if this is your first time here. We'd love to have you back in the future. Anyway, DK grabbing up that Venge. And so, yeah, a lot of the same heroes we saw last time, and I guess if it ain't broke, don't fix it, man.
Yeah, pretty much. Ancient Apparition this time comes around for HGT, one of the favored support heroes in the Chinese scene, as well as the Vengeful Spirit. So I really like DK's lineup so far early on. I know they only have one more pick, but I still really like it. They have the Tidehunter yet again, which is just phenomenal for team fights. We saw him miss a couple of Ravages, but I would say that it's back on more on the good play from Ember Spirit, which was played by Air last time. Just being able to have that quick remnant out. But other than those couple missteps, he got what he needed early on to create enough space for CTY. So the Ember Spirit, the Tidehunter coming out once again for DK, as well as the Terrorblade. Earthshaker this time for HGT.
Reserve time.
Yeah, you know, looking ahead to this last pickup here, we're waiting on the final bans. If there was one susceptibility DK had, and they were able to avoid it in game 1 just through very, very good game sense and very good decision-making from CTY on the Terrorblade split pushing and eventually taking racks all on his own. The Ember Spirit was played really, really well last game, and that's something they've got to be conscientious of. They've got a really nice counter to that, at least in theory, in the Skywrath Mage. The Ancient Seal, a fantastic long-duration silence, but usually you want a little bit more than that. I feel like the Ravage is there, so they're going to be able to follow that up with a Chain Stun from Vengeful Spirit if she's in position to hit the Magic Missile, and of course, once Ty gets Refresher, that's there, and then there's the Ancient Seal. I'm trying to think what they want to fit in here. One would think, barring some major deviation, they might want to go aggressive again. They've got the Skywrath, the Binge, and then the Tide and the Terrorblade, who are probably going to be in solo mid and solo safe, respectively. So, what hero would really fit in well here? And I wouldn't mind a Juggernaut pick. Like, I wouldn't mind seeing that come out again. I mean, when you look at what you're likely to be up against, Ember will be mid, Centaur potentially off lane, and now is it going to be a hard carry for HGT, or are they going to go something much more early combat oriented? It's actually going to be a Weaver, and I know you hate this if that is going to be aggressive.
Well, they banned out the Potom, which I actually thought was going to be really good for DK if they wanted to. Like, if they are going to go aggressive, Potom would have been fantastic for them, just to be able to get out of sticky situations. You can initiate far away with the arrow, but the Weaver picked up. If it's not aggressive, I think it's perfectly fine. If it is aggressive, I'm just not a fan. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Yeah. I just think that he's overrated in lane. All you have to do is pop down a sentry, and he cannot aggressively Sakuchi because the cooldown is way too long. It's much longer than people actually feel it is. Because like I've said, once you play a game of Weaver, you get into the mindset, or like you get into this muscle memory of, I can push it, this many times in this many seconds. But level 1 cooldown 12 seconds is really long. It does not give you enough time to Sakuchi in, hit him with it, auto attack him, and then Sakuchi away. You're screwed. And if they have a sentry down, and if they have any kind of catch, they don't have the best catch as Earthshaker stun, but it's decent if he catches a Fisher the right way. And it's going to be a Nature's Prophet with the last pick here for HGT. So I think if they don't go aggressive, I think Weaver's fine. If they do go aggressive and they bring sentry wards, you got to play very, very carefully.
You think, I mean, it seems like with this, you would want to, it's Doseki's on the Prophet, and he is 100% in the time we've seen him play for HGT, been in the solo off lane. So would seem it's going to be AA Earthshaker, and then ZSMJ will be farming up the Centaur Warrunner with Air once again going mid on the Ember Spirit. And I actually feel like they have a real nice team in dealing with aggression, especially if they're going to put a Weaver at the front of it. I mean, just a well-placed Fissure and a Sentry, as you said, basically makes him meat. So we'll see if that's going to be their decision. They are moving out as 5 immediately, heading up towards top lane. This is what they tend to do anytime they want to run aggressive, because they want to get up here and make sure they get a ward down.
Yep, absolutely. So checking out some, this looks like aggressive, as you mentioned. Posturing here, and just the items from the Weaver would suggest that. Same items here for CTY. Which looks like a very similar situation from last game, except this time HGT wants to meet him head on with the Centaur on the front lines. A lot of Tree Eaters there for Kakapa and Earthshaker. If they can get a nice Fisher block, although the Ember Spirit's actually lagging behind, who isn't exactly the best level 1 engager.
No.
And in fact, he's actually pretty terrible.
Yeah, I don't think they want to fight. The level 1 from DK is really strong. And they come up, they drop their ward, using that sentry to block there. They get another one down. I thought I heard a second one go down somewhere.
It was the regular ward here coming up from HGT. So they might even throw a sentry. They're pinging it. I think they actually might have seen dark green just a little bit. Oh, they are going to counter the sentry. That's very, very important. That's very important that they didn't use 2 there, because if there is a Weaver aggressively in lane, they need at least 1 sentry so that they can track him down while he's using that aggressive Sakuchi. Rune will spawn. It's a Rune bottom double damage. Nice for Tidehunter. As he's probably going to save that.
Aggressive. It will be the aggression. So we're going to see how this is going to work out. They have more than a sufficient amount of lockdown. And especially once Ancient Apparition, we'll see what he wants to skill at level 2, but if he gets Cold Feet and he times it right, throws the Cold Feet off, and then the Fissure hits, gets the stun, blocks him, and if the Centaur can get in a position to stun to follow, it's a guaranteed Cold Feet proc. But, that's all theory crafting. You do have a very nice stun from Cold Snap, the Magic Missile, and, of course, the damage output from Skywrath to contend with. So this top lane bound to be volatile, and we'll keep a close eye here in most of the laning phase. In mid, CTY once again going right to the meta. You really like to see that used early, and for good reason. We saw him have success with this last game in the exact same matchup on the exact same heroes. Down at bottom, the Tidehunter versus the Prophet. The Tide's going to do okay. I actually feel like Prophet's going to be able to really just whittle him down very efficiently with the treants and with right clicks.
Yep, and he started out with a double damage, so Prophet not doing too badly in here. And CTY taking dominance early on in this lane, using a very liberal Metamorphosis. It's better that you pop it as soon as possible so that it's up relatively quickly as well. Just so you can get that free CS towards a... I don't know what he buys. I don't think he bought a bottle last time. I think he just bought the Wraith Band into the Ring of Aquila, or Killa, however you say that.
Yeah, however you choose to.
I don't even know how.
That's why I like the Ring of Basilius. I just call it the Bassi and be done with it.
Bassi Ring, yep, there you go.
The Bassi. Up at top, we've yet to see any shots fired, as everyone just trying to find their farms. ZSMJ at 5 CS right now. The Weaver sitting at 2, so slight discrepancy there. CTY in mid, as you mentioned, doing quite well. He's got 6 CS for himself, 3 for the Ember. And now DK is going to be able to pull this wave all the way back under their towers. So I don't think they're going to mind this. I mean, they're going aggressive. They're making sure the Terror Blade stays safe in mid, and I think that's first and foremost. You know, whenever you have a mid that's so susceptible to early ganking, and Terror Blade certainly fits that description, the best way to give him the best chance to succeed in mid is just to go aggressive and make it hard for these supports to rotate. Yeah. If they rotate, leave their farmer alone, they can wind up getting him killed, and even if they get the mid hero during the rotation, it ends up being a break even at best.
Yeah, I think that's a fantastic point. And that's probably the entire reason why they keep going aggressive, is it frees up space for Terrorblade. Like, Terrorblade's not the greatest mid. He does pretty well in the first 2 waves, as we saw, just being able to pop the meta. But after that, he's not the best. Any kind of aggression coming his way, he dies. He's got absolutely no escape mechanism. His only escape mechanism is his high movement speed. As there wasn't, I remember there was an Invis Rune picked up here by Cold Snap, but there's a plethora of Sentry Wards up here on the side of HGT.
Tell you, Black is hanging him up. Hang on. Because we're going to have an engagement. There's going to be Kaka hit. Will he be able to bring him down in time? No, there's going to be a Fissure Cut XBG, and they do get that Cold Feet proc, but the follow-up damage, one more auto attack will do it. And the arrival of Dos Equis helps secure the kill. Dreamy U will be able to Shikuchi and should get back to safety. The sentry went down, as we saw. It did cost them some time, but honestly, that wasn't that bad. The fact that I mean, sending the Prophet's always good if you can get a kill like that. But the Tide was actually going to... heading down to pre-rune as well, so it wasn't like he was totally left alone in lane. Nice stun there to disjoint the stomp, or to stop the stomp, interrupted from ZSMJ. Dreamy U trying to be a little bit aggressive with the Shikuchi. There's a stomp to follow it.
This is exactly what I'm talking about, man. He goes in aggressively, they threw down a sentry ward, and he's just screwed. Like,
yep.
It's for that reason exactly why I can't stand Weaver in aggressive tri lanes. But nonetheless, 2 for 0 exchange. Nice rotation from the Furion. At the very least, CTY is still farming so well, doubling the CS of the Ember Spirit in mid, so doing fantastically there. And even though they got this nice exchange and they're winning this top lane, I agree with you. It's creating space for CTY, and I don't think there's a hard carry that can suffice to, or that could stand up to in the late game in this game. Like last game.
They mistimed it.
What happened?
Concussive Shot came out way too late. They had him dead to rights. He's just level 4, didn't have level 6. He came all the way out, grabbed the rune, and the timing was off on it. They had the Vengeance of Skywrath there for like 15 seconds waiting on him to come out, and they still missed it. That's a big missed opportunity, because the Terrorblade very easily could have just walked this way or this way and cut off whatever retreat path he wanted, so long as he had enough time following the Concussive Shot and the stun.
This is so good too in mid. I really like the Terrorblade in mid, because every time his meta's up, he just wins for the next 2 or 3 waves, however long it is. And when it's not up, he just goes to jungle. And if they really want to, like if they're badly winning this top lane, they're still sticking it out. But if they're really losing it badly, they can just sack the Weaver, throw a support mid to get the experience and maybe a couple last hits, and then jungle the Terrorblade and send the other support bottom. It's really nice what they're doing.
Dreamy U very, very close to dying there, and that's exactly what you were talking about. They had the sentry down, they dropped another one. Fissure was on point, but they couldn't follow up with the Stomp or the Enchant Totem, so he did manage to make it away. If they had caught him in the middle of Shikuchi, he was dead. 100% dead.
Yeah. And I think the only reason why these supports are staying up here is to make sure they don't gank mid. But CTY, he's going to have his meta up in a second if he really wants to pop it, but he's farming safely right now, so he doesn't feel the need to. Farming very, very well. My god. But there is a rotation bottom. XX could be in some trouble.
Dos Equis hit with the Concussive Shot. Mystic Flare, excuse me, the Arcane Bolt. Not enough damage. You do manage to get a kill on the Venge at top, though, in the meantime. So they send the Skywrath away, and immediately HGT capitalizes on it. And worst of all, they didn't get the Prophet. And the Prophet does have phase boots, so he's a tough target to track down at this level. But everything seems to be going HGT's way. We're going to see Dreamy U spotted by air, but no follow-up there. I think it's about time they make some kind of an adjustment because this isn't working out at all.
Dreamy U is trying to snipe this rune. Ember Spirit actually still got it. If he actually stayed there, he's gonna go for this kill. Oh, he missed it. He got fogged.
Oh, no.
That was really big.
Yeah, another missed opportunity. This time on the side of HGT though. So DK gets away with one that time.
Oh, Earthshaker places a ward right there. It wasn't pinged out though from the side of DK, so I actually don't know if they saw it. They should have because there was a ward there right in the exact same spot. But yeah, I think this game is going to come down to how well the Furion can transition from mid to late, and how fast he can farm with creating pressure on this TB. Because this TB is not getting ganked and is now safely farming in the jungle, freeing up some space for the Skywrath. And I'm on board with what you were saying the last few games we've seen Terrorblade, despite it being a 3-for-0 kill lead for HGT. I just think that he's getting so much farm.
Yeah, it's not a comfortable position at all. One thing that HGT does have also going for them is the supports of DK are falling a bit behind. 2 and 3 for the Venge and the Skywrath respectively. They are going to get another kill onto Dreamy U though. And HGT just continuing to pile it on. They're going to bring the Furion up here. Looks like they want to push with this. He's got 3 points into Nature's Call, so they're going to have plenty of creeps with which to push. And Weaver, not the best counter pusher at all. And to tell you the truth, they have next to no counter push whatsoever. At least not now. Terrorblade, once he gets big, will certainly be able to help with that. But with the, this is just going to be a tough, it's going to be really hard, I think, for DK to defend towers unless Terrorblade commits himself to fights, which last game we saw CTY does not like to do. He much prefers to play the pure rat Terrorblade. But you're going to have Blinks out very soon. And a lot more mobility on HGT. They're going to get Dreamy U again. Magic Missile on the ZSMJ. Dreamy U, I'm not even sure how he got out. Somebody either, did he have a tango and use it?
Nicely done there. Sorry, I was watching the back end of that. Air came in with the backstab, and there was no more Sakuchi because he's still only level 4. And
right.
I just, Weaver pick. Ugh, gag me. Anyway, bottom lane is getting pressured at least by CTY.
They may go for this.
What's that?
He's got Ravage. He can. I thought maybe if CTY were going to rush him down, they could have just about caught that profit with the Ravage.
See, at least with the Juggernaut, they were getting kills. And trading kills,
exactly.
But they're not trading any kills. They're trading map space for CTY and some pressure on the bottom lane. Actually, he will get this tower. So CTY is still doing his thing. At the very least, they are accomplishing that, which is the space created for him. But at last game, they were trading kills with the Juggernaut, and he had a good start. So
5-0. 8 minutes and 40 seconds into this game. Tower down, and DK. Even though they were losing in overall efficiency, obviously giving up 5 kills not the best way to start a game. That tower and a little bit of extra farm for CTY gets them back on track and in range at least, cutting into it by 1,000 gold already. So we'll see. Like the Weaver really needs to get something working, and I feel like it's going to be a long time before he feels particularly relevant coming in and trying to CS, but I think DK is going to be more than happy if HGT gives them space. So even though HGT has to feel like the early game has gone their way, I feel like they need a sense of urgency to carry on into the mid game. Otherwise, they could find themselves in the same situation they did last time.
Yep. One good thing, though, is that this Centaur is actually going to have Blink before Dreamy U is even going to get level 6. So if he has Blink, actually, even if he doesn't have Blink, if Dreamy U Sakuchi's in and he hits him, like if ZSMJ knows that he hits him and he's trying to run away, he can just stampede and run after him and kill him. And with the Blink, it just becomes that much easier. He's actually not going to buy it right now because he wants to just not show it, but he will have it right now.
Now he's got it. And he's going to TP immediately to mid. Maybe look to make something happen on CTY. Yep, immediate smoke as Kaka and he hook up. And Air's moving in that direction too. And they're going to try to find themselves a target of opportunity. Tide has a haste. He's going to get eyes on a regen. They opt not to take that target. I don't think that's what they're interested in. I think they want CTY.
Yeah, they definitely did, because they tried to not break the smoke, but the smoke did get broken by Kaka. So that was actually a big... I don't think that was intentional at all, but he was so fast after he picked up the haster that they couldn't back up in time.
Once again, Tide spotted, doing some Ancients at the moment. And behind that, we are going to hear the Stampede as XBG was engaged upon. Air manages to bring him down. And Doseki's going to be caught as he got very aggressive. Fissures there to help save him. Well, save him from the damage. Ravage is up, but he couldn't get into range. The Treants from the Prophet blocked out his way in. And we'll see if he's going to go mech first again. I don't think he is this game. He's got 1,400 gold. I think they really do need a blink. Again, just if for no other reason than take the fight to HGT because they have such good initiation.
Well, last game they were even, and he was the top farmer by far in the game at this time. So that's why I talked about when you're up really, really far ahead, at least personally, I think mech would be fine. I agree with you. I think the blink would be much more effective here since they are trailing 0-6. Oh,
Ice Blast.
The mark.
Does manage to get him. There's going to be the Ravage. I got no one but ZSMJ. It'll be a nice kill thing. Get it. Oh, it didn't get the Searing Chains. Latched on the creeps are going to get ZSMJ almost certainly. It's going to be close. Sleight of fist, and yeah, they got him that time. So that's going to be a quality kill for them. And they didn't have to over-pursue for it. It was easy to see what they were going for. They timed it out. The Ice Blast, he had just hit 6, if I'm not mistaken. No, he was actually 6 for a bit, but he shot it. And they tried to time the blink and the Ice Blast at the same time just to get a burst damage kill, and then, like you said, whiffed on the blink.
I think it was like, hey, my Ice Blast is going to hit, go, 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 but ZSMJ was so far out of range, he wasn't even close to that stun. So a big missed opportunity, despite him getting the blink 3 minutes ago. Not able to get anything done with it.
Pretty big stack on these Ancients, and Tide's going to finish up his blink dagger with it. And the minus armor from the Venge certainly does help. And yeah, he'll get this very quickly. Once Tide gets blink, it's going to be a little bit like last game. Like, Air is well farmed, as we can see, but he's already being led by CTY. We're going to have Dos Equis come on into mid. They want to push with the Treants. And knowing Ravage is down, it's the exact same situation as last game. They have to accomplish things when Ravage is down. And while they know CTY is lacking in combat potential. So they even get an aggressive ward down here, and they're going to try to track him down. Are they? Yeah, they're going to go on through, as they should. And they may end up seeing this illusion, unfortunately, if they... No, they're actually fake backing. They're going to smoke and double back into mid. Oh, good anticipation. That's where CTY is going to be. They got to get on him. Big opportunity. There's a stomp. The Ice Blast is on the mark. They needed that, and they need more of those. They lead 7-1, but again, we saw a heads-up demonstration very, very early on in this series, in our last game, just how many times you have to kill him to truly hold him down. But yeah, that's such a high priority kill for them right now.
It was. His net worth was pretty big. He was level 11. That was a lot of experience actually going with just that one kill, despite it being a huge, what was it, 5-man, 4-man gank?
Yep.
If you look at the net worth and experience charts, even just for a second, it's actually dipping down almost 1,000.
Tier 1 at bottom. Now the target. Good time for them. Ravage should be up, momentarily, so this will be the last time they can safely do this without having to at least prepare to commit to a team fight. HGT with what seems to be a handy lead. And the Weaver has nothing. I mean, he has got nothing. He's still working on treads at this point. And they need to keep pressing this. Like, even with Ravage up, I feel like they have to be willing to take the fight. They can't just sit back and wait, because DK will be more than happy for that time to catch the Weaver up and to get the Terrorblade big.
Yep, I agree. And it looks like Centaur's going to go for a pipe. I think that'd be really, really good for them. There's an aggressive smoke actually coming out. This time CTY was smoked up. Interesting. So they actually want to fight with him.
Yeah, it's unpredictable. Like I said, this kind of, in my opinion, plays into what HGT needs to accomplish. If they just sit back by their towers and protect the Terrorblade and play defensively when they have such a good defensive team, they're going to have all the time in the world to catch CTY and the Weaver up. Right now, Weaver's the only one visible on the map, and HGT sniffs it out. And everyone runs and hides, realizing that no one would... Never would a whole team go missing like that easily. So CTY reveals himself in mid, and they're looping around down to the south a bit.
That was a lot of wasted time for CTY. He could have been farming a lot more.
Oh,
This is going to be a road.
Blink, Ravage. Got Dos Equis, did not get ZSMJ. They managed to kill the Prophet. There's going to be an Ice Blast. Whiffs on everything and everyone. Stampede's going to be used, and they're going to use that to try to re-engage. We're going to see, oh, beautiful follow-up as they get 2 kills right in that choke point, moving into the Radiant jungle. And HGT piles it on. They lose their Prophet, but they bring down 2, and Air's not done. Chasing down CTY. CTY has a little over halftime left on meta. And he's going to get off the Searing Chains. ZSMJ is there. He's taking so much damage, though. He could end up dead. There's going to be a fissure thrown from Kakan. Yeah, they got to run. They can't. When he's in Metamorphosis, even at this early level, his game has gone so well, they couldn't kill him by themselves.
I think that was a misplay by the Centaur, to be honest. His stun duration is very, very good. And he chose to go for a double edge first over the hoof stomp. And I think they could have hoof stomped. I mean, Yeah, he does a lot of damage, but he's got 700 HP, man. And we've seen just how much burst damage can really destroy him. Very high armor. He's sitting at 18, but burst damage is the way to kill him. And I think if they stun him, auto attack twice, and then use a double edge after that so he couldn't sunder, I think it was an easy kill. But I don't know, maybe not. It could have been close, but I don't think that using the double edge first and then to a stun was the right call. Oh,
Air got out quick, ran into them, and body blocked them just enough. In the meantime, they're trying to sneak a Roshan. As these three lone heroes trying to use those treants. I don't know that they have the damage. They have a battalion up. See who's got it. It is the Ancient Apparition who invested in it early. Up the top, DK wants to take the tier 1. They may suspect this is going on, but once again, Ravage isn't up. And that's, again, it's the exact same story as last game. They have to capitalize on those Ravages. If they don't, HGT is going to be able to take objectives, very valuable objectives like Roshan. And more importantly, they're just going to be able to do what they're doing now, which is shutting this jungle out. They do not want C2Y to have any more space than he needs.
Yeah, they actually just decided that they were going way too slow. And they just stopped doing the Roshan. AA Blast going to come up, but it's not going to hit anything, unfortunately. They're pinging out. Okay, this aggressive ward does show CTY. If they have a smoke, they can go over here now and kill him. Maybe even without a smoke, if they can. Oh no, CTY, he senses something. Just didn't feel safe enough right there, and he's actually moving up top to help with the push.
Weaver going to come in on Kaka and try to right-click him down. Gets off the swarm. There's going to be an enchant totem. Has a fissure. Not going to matter. Solo kill for Dreamy U, and that helps get him caught back up. Off of that, they're going to go ahead and commit to the push at top as well. And I feel like HGT just kind of misplayed the last 2 minutes or so.
Yeah. 2 minutes. I would say even more than that. I don't think they've got enough done with the Centaur Blink.
No.
I mean, he got it at such a good time. They just destroyed their tri-lane, roamed around a little bit, but wasn't able to make enough. And it really comes down to when they first smoked with the Centaur right after he got the Blink. He went mid, but the smoke was revealed by the Tide. I think that was a big thing. They were easily going to get a kill onto the TB, stunt his farm just a little bit if they didn't get that smoke revealed.
They're continuing to camp out in this top lane. They've got 4 here. They're 5th back at the house. That's Dreamy U, so they're making space. ZSMJ is there with Pretty Haw. And let's see if they want to just continue to sit here. They're just letting CTY get his farm, protecting him with 3 while Weaver finds farm elsewhere. And nope, he's going to TP back down the bottom. This is going to leave these 3. They may go for a solo kill, and they will. ZSMJ followed up. Beautiful. Ice Blast will be there, but it's not going to matter. And they knew it was coming. But expending the Ravage, but without that Centaur, if he's down and unable to fight, like even getting him reset up, like once he spawns again, it's going to take a minute or 2 for them to do anything on the map to put him in a position to take a fight. So I don't think they're ever going to mind spending a Ravage on a solo Centaur kill, at least for the duration of the mid game.
Yep, and you have to give me a second. My game just crashed, so I'll have to get back in here momentarily. But
no problem. So Trough will handle that. We'll take a look at who's standing out so far. Is that SMJ, even though he's died now 3 times, he is also leading in kills, so he has been impactful. It's just been a few missed opportunities that have really, really hurt him and his team. The Ember, once again, being played very well by Air, 2-0-2, and he is right up there in terms of net worth as well, right behind C2Y. These ganks, now with ZSMJ up, they have to make something happen. Like, these have to be valuable. Oh, they came so close. Will they be able to track him down? Nope. They know their smoke got popped. They just missed the hero that popped it. It's CTY, once again, walking between the raindrops. Finds himself some safety. He's actually going to go Radiance. He's picked up a Sacred Relic, first item, even after, and this is after he picked up a Band of Elven skins. So, changing his gear very, very quickly. And this should be done really soon. Like, it's not far off at all. It's going to be out in a minute or 2. So you're talking 21, 22-minute Radiance after going Treads and a Band of Elven skin. If it wasn't for that, he'd have it already.
Yeah, I wonder what prompted him to do this and change it up. Maybe it's he feels that he can get with solo kills on these supports, like the AA and he can cancel the blink from the Earthshaker too when it comes up. Mm-hmm. I was actually curious about that. I almost commented on it, but I saw him after he died up there, or he died once. Somewhere. He died once somewhere, and then he came back to base and he had 2200, but he didn't buy his Yasha. So I was like, wait, what? Why isn't he buying his Yata? That didn't make sense to me. So
I think
now it
he's
makes
going
sense.
full rad mode, man. He's like the success they had last game. They're just gonna say, no, we didn't even try to fight with our Terrorblade. He was only involved in what? He was 1, 3, and 2. He was involved in 3 kills the entire match.
Yeah.
So why? Why worry about it? Just go full rad, build a Radiance, and play it like a Naga does.
Yep. Yeah. I think it's a really effective build. It reminds me when Loaded did it at ESL. Just was able to get so much farm, and when they spread the map this well, it's really difficult to stop them. Similar, like you mentioned, to a Naga, except this hero has much stronger tower pushing potential and hero killing potential.
Well, and also, I mean, just keeping the lanes pushed like that also nullifies one of the big advantages you have in the Nature's Prophet. You can have him trying to account for split push or trying to pressure lanes and then bring him into a fight. Now the Terrorblade goes, no, I'm just going to make a bunch of illusions and you'll never, ever see the other side of the river. And they're going to end up trading tier 2s here, it would seem. There's a glyph up on the side of DK, a glyph up on the side of HGT as well. They're just trying to decide how hard they want to commit. This tower at bottom, though, is dying very quickly. In the meantime, a Battle Fury is complete on air. And they're going to send someone back up here. This will be the ZSMJ. And the Ice Blast is there, so they're going to get a free tower at bottom. Bringing air in now, he'll be enough to ward them off. And tier 2. Yep, actually, we're going to see Black Z come on in and do Sekis. Concussive shot is there, but the Stampede may be enough. Behind that, they may decide to make a run on air, and they will. Coming right out on top of him. Let's see how he wants to handle this. Oh, time lapse now. Oh, very nice. Got away from the magic missile, disjointed it with his ulti, and they did manage to clean up the Nature's Prophet at bottom in the meantime. So, HGT, they take a tower, they lose a hero, but they do get air back to safety, and they do protect their own tier 2, at least for the moment. Still yet, DK has not abandoned the dire side jungle.
Oh, that was such a really clutch play there by the Skywrath, the XBG. He threw out a blind Mystic Flare on the other side of these trees here by the Radiant jungle, and he couldn't see, and it almost killed the TP in Nature's Prophet. He actually had to cancel it and walk away, otherwise he would have died, which made him move up to a different spot. But the persistence of the Skywrath, he was checking still for him, and he actually got the kill mid-TP. So really nice play there by XBG.
I actually didn't catch that, and that's a shame. They were like, I saw him being pursued, and I thought for sure they were going to kill him, so I flashed the top because it looked like they were going to go on air, and they did have a couple of stuns that might have been able to bring him down. So instead, saw air get away and disjoint a magic missile in the process. So good plays all over the map. 5-9. DK has closed that gap a little bit, but still, HGT has to be conscious of how big CTY is getting. And as much as comfortable it is, you'll be like, yeah, well, the Ember's getting big too. Didn't matter last game. It's not going to matter this game. Hang on, we're going to have Black Z has Ravage. We'll go ahead and expend it. Got 2. Actually got 3. Dos Equis was caught with it as well. There's going to be a Gush that finishes off the Ancient Apparition. In the meantime, Dreamy U going to be killed off by ZSMJ with the help of air. And there's going to be an Echo Slam that catches Cold Snap behind it. And finally, ZSMJ securing a kill for himself as well with the double edge. So, DK loses 2. And they have to keep this up. Roshan is still up. He's almost regen the full. We'll see if that's going to be their target, if they just want to spread the map.
Here's the illusions of Terrorblade doing some damage to tier 3, pushing it up, forcing people back. I feel like it's the same thing every single time we've seen, man. Just TB, looking like the other team is putting enough pressure, but it's never enough against the TB.
Yep.
God, I don't know. This hero, man, is something else. Every game.
Even after the nerfs, he's still so strong.
I know it.
We'll see how they decide to play it out. If you're HGT, you got a first-hand lesson on what you're up against. I mean, this is almost a mirror match of Game 1.
Yeah.
What do you tell them, having learned the lessons you learned in Game 1?
Well, for one, I like the Furion because it's a lot easier to punish split pushing, just in general. Furion's really good against split pushers like Tinker and Naga, and in this instance, TB. It's a little bit difficult just because of how careful CTY is playing it. But I think it's going to be on the back, and I said this at the beginning, on the back of crafty play from Dos Equis playing the Furion. I think he's going to be a big key role. I actually thought, action as we see Cold Snap. Yep, he's dead.
Super dead.
Yeah,
they're going to take a Roche off of that.
Yeah, this time they might actually keep going and persist and kill it. But I thought Shadowblade actually would have been really good on Furion this game. The old standard Shadowblade into Orchid's build, just so he can set things up and scout around for a Terrorblade in the background, just so they can have that vision of him. But doesn't go for it. I don't see much love for that build anymore.
Looks like he's going Maelstrom to follow. I actually think he would be great with a blink, and I'm a little sad that he's not getting it. There are 2 heroes primarily that if he can blink an Orchid, can completely reverse a fight. Like, if he can catch the Tide out in a bad position, blink an Orchid him, or if he can just get the Weaver and keep him from Shikuchiing. And Weaver does have the Lincolns now, so he is getting something working for himself. Still below the center of the pack in terms of overall net worth. Kaka caught in the river and able to blink away, though, after a fissure. But, yeah, looks like he wants to go pure right-click. What do you think?
On which hero?
The Prophet. He's going Maelstrom instead of something like a Blink Dagger to go with his Orchid.
I mean, Maelstrom seems fine and standard just against illusions, but I think they have enough damage even without the Maelstrom procs to take down the illusions. So I don't know. I agree with you. I think Blink and just catching people out, like similar to a Blink is the Shadow Blade, but typically you don't see that purchase later. You see it purchased earlier.
Yeah.
So I mean, if we saw last game, even with the Heart, Scotty, Manta, and he had, I think, a BKB, those illusions still died very easily. That's the nerf coming into play. So I don't think you need to prioritize Maelstrom or Mjolnir anymore like you used to.
Yeah, I agree. Well, we're going to have a smoke. I'll finish that thought in a minute. They're going to have a chance to catch Cold Snap again, and they immediately do. So that's going to be an easy kill. And let's see if they want to collapse elsewhere. Here comes Dos Equis. He wants to try to make something happen with his team. There are two hemmed up. It's going to be XBG and Dreamy U. Dreamy U scurries into the woods while XBG TPs to safety. And I feel like HGT is doing a much better job this game than they did last game of abusing how spread out DK feels like they want to be and they need to be. CTY, though, is still getting pretty big. I mean, he's still got a Yashi, he's still atop the net worth chart, and he's still keeping these lanes pushed. There has to be another step in this process. They can't just keep doing this.
Yeah, it's... Maybe they need more team fighting items, like... They have no mech. They have no pipe.
They got a pipe.
Oh, they do have a pipe.
Tide's got a pipe.
Oh, he's almost got it. Okay. Oh.
Up the top, CTY. This is a big kill. They can get it. Ooh, ZSMJ almost whiffed on it. And there's the Sunder. Oh, no. Maybe they can finish it up. The Orchid's there. He's going to try to TP in their face. I think they can do it. Yes. Oh, ZSMJ with another blown Blink Stomp. I didn't see if he shorted it or if he was never going to get there in the first place. Oh, he missed. And now Dreamy U. Oh, he's going to get a kill on the return. And we're going to see, they actually know where he went. They saw that. They saw the Arcane Bolt trace him down, so they're going to be able to track him down. Here comes Dreamy U, going to loop through. Ice Blast was off the mark. Oh, they didn't see him. It's being pinged right now. They know where he is. They're just not going to commit to it. In the meantime, ZSMJ with eyes on Black Z. He has Ravage if he needs it. And, oh, Kaka's being such a cheeky little son of a gun. Here comes Air, though, and they're going to try to collapse back on this. They may have committed too much time. They will get Kaka, but it might cost them more. There's going to be a Ravage. You got Air and Pretty Haw. ZSMJ did not whiff on that one. Pipe's already been deployed, but it's not going to matter. Mystic Flare goes off, but ZSMJ, tanky as he is, not going to die to just that. Dreamy U's on his tail, though, trying to TP away. There's going to be the Gush. They do get him with the Anchor Smash. Dreamy U trying to make a run for it. Air has next to no mana. Oh, almost got him. Almost got him with the Sleight of Fist. Here comes the Anchor Smash. They're going to continue to chase him down. Dreamy U's going to make it down into the river. And now the tables have turned. Air gets gushed. Do they have the damage? Anchor Smash? They do! Aegis is gone. However, Dos Equis is engaged. He brings down the Weaver. Now, Black Z just waiting on Cold Snap. Cold Snap back up there. Magic Missile on the Dos Equis. We're going to see Black Z drop. Good swap. That's going to secure at least one more kill, but Air should get the return kill on the Cold Snap as well. And it looks like everyone else has cleared out and went to the showers. An absolute bloodbath up here in top lane. Ends with HGT still leading 17-11, but the entire time CTY continuing to push the tier 3 in mid down to just 270 HP.
Oh, these Centaur stomps are a little bit questionable, I'm not going to lie. The first one was just, I don't think he was quite in range, but he still blinked, and actually if you looked at it, if you really looked at it closely, there's an interaction with the blink. If you try to blink further than the range, it actually makes it go slow.
That's what happened,
shorter.
Isn't it?
That's the second time I think that's happened, and he clicked over the actually appropriate range, and it hurt him there. And he needed to just be a little bit more patient to where he was actually perfectly in range, because the Earthshaker was waiting and running away so that he couldn't get sundered himself because he didn't have quite enough stun lock all on his own. But a very big missed opportunity there from HGT. Nice play from the Venge by sticking it out and getting a solo kill onto the Furion. That got him 2 levels, so a level 2 swap.
So worth it for him. Yeah. So worth it for him. Air did get a couple of kills out of it too, though, so I mean, it's given its take. He's 6-0, and for the did Air die? Air died what, once or twice last game?
Once
at the most.
Once,
yeah. And he was perfect all the way up through about 45 minutes. Had not given up a single death, so his Ember Spirit is pretty damn legit. At top, Dos Equis and CTY are in the same lane. Doesn't look like they want to engage. CTY doesn't have a ton of mana, but can't overstate how big of a misstep that one stomp was. And at the moment I saw it, I wasn't sure if he was just trying desperately to blink from a distance that he was never going to get, or if he shorted it with the actual blink. Like you said, the interaction being if you click outside of the full blink distance, you actually lose, what is it, 200?
I don't think it's
range?
that much. I think it's like 150 or 100. I could be wrong. All I know is that it does shorten it.
Yep, and they end up, I mean, that fight wasn't a horrendous disaster for HGT. I mean, some things went DK's way, some things went their way. But more importantly, CTY got away. And now he's got a full Manta. He has up one ulti orb on his way to his Scotty for the second game in a row. And he's only about 100 gold off of a second ulti orb already. So you're talking less than 1,500 gold, and he's going to have a Scotty.
And he counted a ward down here with his illusion literally a second before it was right down here. A second before the illusion was about to fade, so good for him. Air, he was doing so good for his team, but there's just some questionable decisions and questionable plays. And Viron, I'm still not sold on this build by him. I think they need better initiation. Right now, their initiation is, I mean, it's the Centaur, but when he's whiffing these stomps and whatnot, then they have to look to someone else.
Yeah. No, I completely. That's kind of what I was talking about. Just the idea of getting another blink, like a blink dagger up on him. Just something, some way. And even if they're still using the Centaur's primary initiation, which they should do. I mean, ZSMJ is a legend in Dota for a reason. He's not a terrible player. Sometimes you just have a bad day.
Sure.
And right now he is. And even if he whiffs or even if he connects, still having that blink in from the Furion to blink in and Sprout, to blink in and Orchid, whatever, is something they desperately need, especially up against heroes like a Tidehunter and a Weaver. And I still feel like he should get that at some point. I mean, he's got 1,800 gold, so it's possible he'll sell his Bassi and go in that direction next. But right now, both teams kind of playing do-si-do, as we're going to see the push in mid with 4 in the jungle backing it up, while 5 from DK are heading down top lane.
3 illusions of Terrorblade coming top. Oh, nope, ZSMJ is right on top of that, so doesn't want any more damage onto that tier 3. Scary thing, too, is that Weaver, look how much farm he actually has now, despite him being destroyed in lane. He actually has more net worth by 2,000 almost over the Centaur.
Yeah.
To put things in perspective. And Centaur went for the, I don't know if you mentioned this, Heaven's Halberd over the completed pipe, which I find interesting. I don't agree with that at all. I think I don't think you need to really use the Heaven's Halberd onto the Terrorblade, because if you're going to focus him like that, he's probably going to get bursted down anyway.
Right.
Not to mention there's still illusions that do nearly as much damage as he does.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just for the Weaver, but the Weaver has the Lincolns now and has had it for some time. So I think the best way to combat this TB is to do what they did, pressure the lane, pressure everything early. They had a great lead, and then get team fighting items. But they don't really have any of that.
ZSMJ could get spotted. Oh, Ravage whiffed! ZSMJ knew he was caught out. Now they want to stampede and turn this around. Big opportunity. Searing Chains catches Black Z. Nice target if they can get him. They should be able to get him with nothing but another Sleight of Fist. In the meantime, we're going to see Skywrath Mage tracked down and brought down. In the meantime, yeah, they do finally manage to kill off the Tidehunter as well. So the whiffed Ravage, and that was just 2 very quick players reacting to each other. ZSMJ knew he was spotted, and Black Z knew what he saw, and he went for it. And that blink, distance didn't matter, just quickness, and he managed to make it work for him.
Yep, I don't even think they had vision of it. It was just a very quick reaction. And to blink away is much more difficult than just using the Ember Spirit Remnant away. We saw that several times last game, which is already impressive in itself. But a blink actually takes a little bit more time, because if you're not facing the opposite direction, it takes time to actually move your hero and then blink the direction away. So nice reactions there from CSMJ.
Yes.
Cold Snap was being pursued by Air. They're going to be able to take this tier 2 and fall back for Roshan before Ravage is back up. If they spot it, wow. That's a gem down too, and that's just a super quick kill onto Cold Snap. This is their moment. With Ravage down, they're sieging 2 towers. The Prophet has 1, Air on the other. I don't know if they can go high ground, but if they can go take a Roshan, they got to account for CTY, of course, who's doing what he's doing over in bottom lane. But they're going to be able to take this. Ravage will not be up for a full minute now. If they can account for CTY quickly, TP, yeah, just TP everyone there. And then run right to the Roche pit. I think they're going to be in just fine shape. And CTY, with his Scotty done, 1,300 gold aside, still hanging out over here. Has to be very careful that is. Did he turn it off? No, he still has it going. I was going to say. Just cutting the creeps with that illusion. God, that's obnoxious.
Yep. And the cool thing about Ember Spirit is he can just, if he really needed to, like he said, he just put his Remnant there in mid, TP's back, and if they still wanted to push, they could. But like you mentioned, Roshan's up, so
yep.
Their sights are on Roshan now. I believe this is the second one, yes? I don't think Cheese is coming up this one.
No Cheese. Not yet. And I don't think DK can challenge this. I mean, it's 15 seconds. It took them a long time last time. Nah, they've got Ember here this time. That was what was different. Last time they had Ember Spirit out on the map, and it was good taking forever. This time, not so much. And Ty's actually got a Hex. That's a very big deal in and of itself. And I don't know that DK's plan is going to work out this time. The addition of the Ancient Apparition and the Nature's Prophet is really confounding the game plan that worked so well for them in Game 1. And the Prophet is getting big, whether we like his item decisions or not, which at this point he's got about 5,700 gold saved up, so no idea what he wants to buy. And there's a Deso done on the Weaver now. So even he's defensive, he's got good damage. I feel like HGT is going to has to be very careful like in this next fight. Like if CTY shows up and decides to fight and the Weaver plays well, they could lose all of this momentum, but the game is still in their favor.
I mean, the scary thing though is if they don't look at the split pushing from CTI for 1 second and they get too caught up into a team fight. Speaking of, CSMJ is dead to a very quick, fresh sight device there for Black Zed. So very, very fast. They didn't even have to expend the Ravage for that, which is very, very good as he still has it up.
Yep.
With the pipe.
Yeah, I think they're going high ground. And this is one modification that has been made. And maybe this was the plan all along. Like we were talking about using him like a Naga Siren, but maybe the idea of the Radiance is my illusions can go push elsewhere and then I can run with the team late game. They are going to back off of it, and I think that might be a mistake. I feel like
they don't have the Weaver.
Yeah.
If they want a straight up push with Terrorblade, which is already weird. Oh, Weaver's in
Echo
trouble.
Slam. And the Fissure, they got the link. It's got it. That is a fantastic gank from them. Gonna make it a 4-on-4. Weaver's down. They gotta decide what they want to do up the high ground right now. Or up in top lane. There's gonna be another Hex on the air. This will be huge if they can get it. There's gonna be the Ravage, and they do manage to get his Aegis. And let's see if they want to try to do anything. Nope. Thought they might try to re-engage, but not gonna be the case. 12-21. HGT making plays where it counts, but DK gets a good pick on air.
Yep, Age is expended though, and I don't really know HGT can actually push high ground with it anyway, so I don't think it's too big of a deal for HGT. I think they're totally fine trading an Aegis for Ravage, to be honest. Especially when he doesn't have a refresher.
Furion still pushing bottom. And there is the reaction of XBG heading back home. DD spotted in the river. And it looks like HG, yep. Oh, he did it again! Whiffed on him just a little bit. And it wouldn't have been the biggest kill in known history, but certainly would have been a nice one to have.
Furion doing a little bit of split pushing on his own.
Oh, more good reactions out of HGT as they hem up Black Sea. Deadskis. And right now, for all the problems ZSMJ seems to be having with his Blink initiation, his team is carrying the water. We're seeing really nice plays down the stretch now out of Dos Equis. And I probably should stop calling him that. I thought it was going to be a one-time see him as a stand-in thing, and I never see him again. And people are going to start calling him that. But I like the name now. So Dos Equis and Air have been doing a real nice job in getting follow-up kills at the end of these fights and during retreats.
Yeah, Air's really playing Ember Spirit well. Still hasn't died yet. He only died once last game, towards the very end. So solid performance throughout this entire series so far. Looks like they want to press the issue. Tide, he's dead for another 30 seconds. Doesn't have buyback. Wouldn't have Ravage even if he did. This is going to be some decent damage onto this this tier 3.
This could be a make or break for both sides. Tide will respawn before Ravage is up. If they lose Rax here, even with CTY, I feel like they're going to be in big trouble. And they're going to lose, it would seem, at least one. BKB's done on CTY. Tide's going to be coming up in just a minute. We see the damage from Air is legit. Let's see how they want to engage. There's going to be Searing Chains that actually caught XBG. Not enough to kill him. They're going to back off. And that, I think they could have stuck around, man. I think they could have stuck around and taken down at least one of these two racks. Instead, they remain standing. And I think if they lose a fight sometime soon and CTY's back at their tier 3s, they're going to regret that.
I don't know. I think that CTY is still too big. He actually buys bots right now, so he doesn't have buyback right now. He's got to be very careful until he gets it, although he will get it very fast. He's got an illusion top that'll clear out a wave. There's a smoke aggressively coming out from 4 members of DK, while the Terrorblade can solo push top. Air is sitting up here though patiently, and this is smart. If they can catch the real one, no, the real one's not going to take the bait. So I was going to say if he comes up there, he initiates with Furion coming in for the backstab. It's an easy kill.
And both teams spread out, playing ultra safe. DK heading this way. Air's still there. Has a remnant down, or at least he did. No, it actually expired. He had one down right here. And now he's going to throw another one just to remain safe. Down at bottom, HGT trying to do their own thing. Actually using the Prophet Treants to spread out all throughout the jungle. You can see he's doing it again. And just to make sure they have vision everywhere, not allow them to be caught out. At top, DK's yet to find him. And, ooh, he may have shown himself there. No, he's going to TP out using those bots and coming into bottom. They may just take a run at this tier 3.
If DK kind of anticipates this, I wonder if they just split this. Oh, nope, they're all TPing back. Although CTY could stay up here. We'll see how they want to play this out.
Yeah, he's going to stay for now. Air caught Ravage. No, good Fissure. Bought him just enough time. The Ravage would have followed, and he would have been dead for sure. Look at this. Even without the Ravage, he certainly would have died there. They all have to go home and deal with CTY. It's going to be ZSMJ, who blinks to his death, comes in and accomplishes nothing except feeding a kill to CTY. And CTY then TPs away with a chuckle in his belly. And ZSMJ, man, is having a hard day. It's a rough one.
He should get a Force Staff too. Force Staff is already very popular in Centaur, so he can initiate in, and if you know shit hits the fan, he can just have a safety net. Imagine though in that fight bottom, if Tide is able to just ravage them, even if he doesn't get even if they don't kill anybody, just keeping him there, like interested in that fight bottom. CTY gets 2 sets of racks. I'm not kidding.
Yep, but if he ravages and they kill Air, I guarantee you the rest of his team immediately retreats, and then they can't. Then because of that, they can't TP back.
Right.
And it's the pursuit to like that would have gone from like here to down here to like right here before they ever broke off, and CTY would have had all that time. That's a terrible drawing. Sorry about that. And the he would have had plenty of time to like you said, at least clear off 1 set of racks.
Furion's going for an interesting build here. He has the BKB, and now he's got enough money for the Assault Caress if he wants it, I think. Yeah, he has enough money for it if he wants it. Interesting build coming out from him. So, no Scythe of Ice for him. Do they have one on somebody? No, I don't think they do, so... Interesting. They can't really lock down the Terrorblade unless it's with Burst Stun from, like, the Earthshaker.
Yep.
Which is... By the way, he is transitioning into the Carry Shaker as he's got a crit for himself.
As you do. Well, it's exactly what you were saying, man. They need the burst. And Crit Shaker gives you a lot. And burst is certainly among it. Yep. Oh, there's going to be the Ravage. Oh, they didn't get Dos Equis. They're going to get ZSMJ almost certainly. There's going to be the Hex, though. BKB has been deployed. In the meantime, Black Z, after the Ravage, going to be hemmed up. Here comes CTY, though, trying to clean things up. Beautiful Echo Slam. DK able to run based on the Sunder alone. They end up giving 2 for 1 on the back of the Crit Shaker Echo Slam. And CTY now might try to turn around and go to work. Knows he's not going to get away. They bring him down. That's a 5-man wipe as Air and Kaka notch double kills apiece, only losing ZSMJ. And DK's plan that worked so well in Game 1, not looking so good in Game 2.
That was the Echo Slam that pretty much just won the game for them.
Yep.
I mean, it's not over just yet, of course, but my God. What I just said, if they have really no way to lock them down unless they get a nice, dunk or donk from the Earthshaker. Boy, did he deliver with great fashion, too. There are buybacks up, and there's Metamorphosis as well, but he doesn't have BKB for the 20 seconds.
Ah, man, what a fight. That's the kind of fight I love to cast, because you saw a good player or two on both sides, and it just kaboom. It's like someone just set a bomb off in the middle of that cluster of critters and trees and heroes, and at the end of it, as the dust settled, you had DK on the run. And then Air there to finish it off. He and Kaka both notching 4 of those 5 kills, and I'm with you. Like, still Dota to be played, of course, but at this stage of the game, that death right there on CTY matters so much. He's trying to go Butterfly, And now, oh wait, never mind. He's actually still got 3,300 gold. And yeah, he's actually going to have it, so never mind. I thought he was still was looking for the Eagle Song, but he's going to have it momentarily.
Yeah, and I wonder if he should have bought back there. Like, I think if he obviously wants to save it, but if he's going to buy a butterfly anyway, then he's not going to have the buyback. I think he actually could have saved the racks, maybe. If he buys back immediately, starts pumping out illusions, throws out mantas. I mean, it could have been risky, but I don't know. I'm still not so sold on that one. We'll have to wait and see how much damage he can do with this butterfly. I believe he just purchased the portion of it. Yep, he's got it full, so no buyback from them. This could be their all-in, so to speak.
Yeah, it's going to be. And they're going to have to do it against Air with an Aegis. He'll probably sell his drums, I would imagine. Or do you put it on someone else? I think Air is the most... Yeah, he sold them. So, they didn't sell it, dropped it. Courier will come take care of that for him. They're coming out. This is a desperation smoke, the definition of. Lose a terrible fight, lose a Roshan, smoke out his 5, and go fishing. Hope you find something worth having.
Yep.
And they see that's where he was. They think about doubling back, but the spread from right now is pretty legit from HGT. And yeah, they're heading back to their side of the map, so playing very safely.
C2Y counter pressing top. Can maybe TP to an engagement on the other side of the map if he wants to. They're just going to try to play this safe, especially if they don't have buyback on CTY. I think he really needs to farm that up. TP coming up from the bots of Air. He's quickly going to take care of that illusion. Yep, no damage really for him. So, yeah, definitely in the favor of HGT. This could possibly be the first Terrorblade game we've seen where they lose with it in D2L Season 5. Would be very, very interesting. And not that CTY has played badly. I mean, he has played phenomenally, actually. 603 CS for him. Crazy good. But just better decision-making and a very, very clutch Earthshaker ultimate at the perfect time.
Miserable. This is miserable. They're trying to push down top, and Terrorblade hid in the woods, and he and his illusions wouldn't cut the creep. So unless they go with this wave, they're not going to have any creeps at all.
Well, they will have the ones bottom coming in, and mid's actually not too close by. Or not too far away, I should say.
I just mean if they decide to come in this late, I guess they could just go with Treants, and that's fine. Still, miserable. And, yeah, the Prophet just going to siege this. Like, they're going to have to pick a spot at some point.
CTY needs to come back. He can't split push this any longer. Like what? They got to fight this. Does he not have TP up or something? No, he does.
Just buying his time.
He can't, like, this isn't really that effective, though, because they can still cut through it. There's not going to be backdoor protection.
Right.
So, yeah, I don't think this is too effective. I think he needs to cut back now and fight now. Okay, all right. Well,
free tier 3.
I don't know.
As
I
you
don't
do.
know about that.
You think he wants to go for another base race? He's not going to win this one, I can tell you that.
Well, finally he's back, but this is... They don't even have Glyph.
Yeah. They have to commit. They're just giving up their racks right now. Giving up for free. It's going to be a swap. Cold Snap grabs Dos Equis. He got Hex. There's going to be the Ravage. It did manage to catch the Prophet, but BKB already up on Air. Bursted down in a hurry. Coming back off of that Aegis, CTY, and the damage output from he and Dreamy U is so high. There's going to be the Remnant to try to get him back to safety. There's going to be an Echo Slam behind that, but not enough to follow. They're going to lose their 2 big damage dealers right now. And HGT looked like they were ready to close it out. Terrorblade is a ridiculous hero. ZSMJ could be the last to drop. There's 2 buybacks from the from 2. Make that, yeah. Now the Ember's back up. The Nature's Prophet is back up. ZSMJ, tanky as he is, trying to burst down CTY. It's not going to work. Oh, he actually manages to eat the cheese in time.
Oh my god, that damage from Air.
Is... Look, I'm watching CTY clean up ZSMJ. In the meantime, Air cleaning things up behind it. He lose him? No, he burns him down with the Radiance. So DK manages to get a bunch of kills. Only way I know to say it. MKB's done on Air, but Terrorblade is so ridiculous. Like, it looked like at this point, based on the way the last fights had gone, HGT was ready to just march and claim a victory. And instead, in the initiation wasn't even great. Like, Cold Snap had a good swap, but the Hex was there, and the Stampede got the Prophet almost out of range of the Ravage. BKB was already up on Air when the Ravage did hit, so that wasn't like a high-priority moment. And it didn't matter. Just the damage output between the Weaver and the Terrorblade with the Vengeful Spirit aura is so massive that they just chewed through HGT like they weren't there.
Yeah, but they lost 2 racks. They lost the other set, or the other racks in mid, and they lost the melee, and the range one's actually almost dead as well. This has to be a final push. But they can't really actually initiate this team fight until they have the Ravage up for Tidehunter in about 40 seconds. So when that comes up, they're going to keep pushing out waves. CTY will push out bottom. Oh, he's coming now. So they have to start this fight without Ravage, which is already really bad. So
CTY does have buyback. Boots of Travel will be ready to go in 40 seconds. He needs to survive that long. Dream EU force the time lapse. And down goes to tier 3. They're going to make a run for it. Profit back. Look at the damage. Jesus, mother of God. Just chunking these racks. They could just go tier 4. Are they actually going to go racks? Yeah, they're going to go for racks. So now rotating up the top.
Safely, yeah.
And best of all, they're buying time. Oh, Ravage is up. And they got Cold Snap. Here we go. Ravage. BKB's been deployed. Black Sea wants to hold on to it, but the damage is so big, they just can't engage. Air has to remnant back to the fountain to keep himself alive, and Black Sea stayed alive. In the meantime,
he's got no buyback on Ember.
No, Ember's down. And the Ravage is whiffed, but it doesn't matter. Kaka ends up being next dead. Dos Equis chased away from the fight. And ZSMJ gonna be hexed out. As there's a Sprout on the Black Sea. The Cold Snap actually swaps him. There's gonna be a Mystic Flare. Dos Equis caught with it. The right click from these heroes is so tremendous. ZSMJ initiates their Sunder. ZSMJ gonna end up, just look at it. It's like a machine gun of pure pain and suffering as DK, against all odds, looked to have been run over in the mid-game. The dinger, the buzzer went ding, man. You're on a timer. And the Weaver, who struggled so much, CTY went with the greed, the split push build. It doesn't matter. Just completely steamrolling over HGT in the end. This is gonna be your GG. And this is going to be a big win for DK as they continue to contest it a bit. But it doesn't matter. There it is. Good Echo Slam to end it, but nonetheless, a big win for the youngsters, for Team DK, as they're able to seal the deal for the second game in the row on the back of CTY's Terrorblade. The hero is okay. 8-2-3 for CTY this time. I got nothing, man. Like, HGT seemed like they were in complete control of that game. And down the stretch, one bad fight. They only had one rack standing, and it didn't matter. The Weaver and the Terrorblade just caught up so much, and you just can't let that hero go this late.
What a fucking stupid hero, man. Oh my god. Did you see?
Go ahead.
The damage, the last auto attack he had to Ember, it follows him with the Remnant. It's one of the things that's kind of annoying about the Remnant. Followed him, and he doesn't have crit. I actually had to double check his items to make sure he didn't have crit, because it just came up as a regular attack for like 550 damage. But it shows up like as a crit, but he doesn't even have crit. But that's how much regular auto attack damage he's doing. Just sick, man. So much damage. I think the big opener right there was that they gave up that tier 3 in mid, the final push, without any contention, because if you saw right as CTY got that tower down, he broke it. He went all the way up towards the top side, which gave a lot more space and wiggle room to work with. And that was a really smart positioning by CTY, and really he kind of dictated the fight with his position by just passing past the racks mid there and creating more space for himself. So really nicely played by CTY. The rest of his team played pretty well, but I'd definitely say that he dictated the pace of this game.
Yeah. Your response, by the way, your thoughts on the Terrorblade almost made me spit my beverage. Like, I literally got choked on a little bit. I was taking a drink, and you said that. Lel, top keck, 52 minutes, 52 seconds. DK with the young talent, CTY, leading the way. Upset ZSMJ, the legend, and his squad 2-1 in a series in which they entered down one game already. So they win 2 in a row, get their win, and drop HGT to 0-3 in Eastern Division standings just as we approach the halfway point. Going to be a long road back to relevancy for HGT and company coming up in a few weeks. Thanks so much for being a part of the broadcast, guys. I'm your host, Aaron AC Chambers. The guy on the other side, his name is Strauff, the wise guy making all the jokes using bad words. PG-13, bro.
Hey, everyone's sleeping, right?
Bad words, correct. It's sometimes the phraseology just has to be taken to that level.
Hey, I normally try to tone it down, but sometimes it just needs to be said, right?
Amen. And it needs to be said as well. DK, again, getting another good win, or their first win. It's a very good win. And we're beginning to see some of these younger squads get some upsets. CDEC upset LGD earlier this week, and now DK bringing down HGT, who remains an enigma. When you see them play, you see a lot of good, but their consistency is just absent. Although, based on the last couple of performances, I would not mind seeing them add Air and Dos Equis to their lineup if they could just get that lineup to gel the way they needed to. This is our last Eastern Division broadcast of for a couple of weeks anyway, guys. We're making room, obviously, for Star Ladder and other stuffs going on around the planet. But coming up in just a few weeks, going to be almost 2 weeks to the day, we're going to be kicking off our Western Division as well as finishing up our Eastern Division. It is going to be 18 grueling days, grueling for us, a lot of fun for you, of Dota here at the D2L. We're talking 40-plus best of threes over a course of 18 days, and myself and Trout will be there with you every moment along the way. Hope you'll follow us on Twitter. I'm at AC, at AYESEE. He's at TralfDota, TRALFDOTA. And of course, the D2L. Make sure you hit follow. If this is your first time here, hopefully you enjoyed the cast and we'll have you back in the future. Hit follow on twitch.tv/D2L. And keep up with the D2L for all news, announcements, and everything else on Facebook and Twitter. It's D2LGG on both of those services. VODs, by the way, can also be found on YouTube under the user account D2LGGTV. Want to thank Monster Cat for providing the music, as always. So if you enjoyed the playlist, you can find pretty much everything from Monster Cat free in a variety of places, so make sure you look into them. Want to thank you, Trout, for being a badass throughout this week and getting locked and loaded. Those 18 days are going to be tough. Going to be fun, but tough.
Yeah, they are, but like I said, it's going to be fun to see like Western teams play, Eastern teams play, just right, one right after the other, just to see the differences in styles and drafting. So I'm looking forward to it, man.
Alrighty, that's it for us. On behalf of myself, Trout, and everyone else at the D2L, hope you had fun. We'll see you in a couple of weeks. Again, almost 2 weeks to the day